is one of the most underrated political figures of the 20th century. Like what he did for Russia and the whole world.
Yeah, and Russia hates him.
Yeah, I mean,
The West loves
I
him,
think
but at home he's not so appreciated.
I think the s- the moment that really marked the end of the Cold War was when Gorbachev was in that McDonald's ad. That was
Pizza Hut. That was Pizza Hut. He was in
a
Pizza
Pizza
Hut.
Hut. It was a
He
Pizza
called
Hut. Oh, I
McDonald's.
thought it was a
Actually, it was
McDonald's
Pizza
ad.
Hut. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that really marks the end of the
Was
Cold
it in
War.
the was it in the 90s, early 90s?
Yeah, it was.
I think so. Yeah, 1990.
Yeah, that was
Gorbachev.
a year before the Soviet collapse.
Before the wall collapsed, right? Let me check.
Yeah, yeah. The wall was in '91.
Other people might argue that the end of Cold War was when Metallica played, not Metallica, but Monsters of Rock '91.
Yeah.
When you have the biggest names in metal
Uh huh.
join.
Oh, that
together in
concert was
Moscow.
fucking amazing. I had goosebumps just watching a YouTube video.
When you
It
see
was
the Metallica
majestic.
footage, it's
Yeah, have you seen the Metallica concert in Moscow? It's fucking amazing, bro.
Moscow
Moscow.
91.
Yeah.
Oh, I think.
And
well,
like,
It was on an airport. There were so many people.
uh-huh.
I think Metallica
That
was
wanted
huge
this
back
to
then, right?
happen.
Like, um,
Yo, yeah.
It's been huge since, I don't know, since forever.
Metallica won the Cold War for America.
I've never been a fan of Metallica. Like, I listened to them like really later in life. And
Yeah, since the 90s, they kind of changed their ways and style. They're not as they kind of became a bit more
Yeah.
punky. It's still metal, it's still rock, but it doesn't hit you.
I
as,
do love the album Master of Puppets, though. Like that album,
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's one of the cornerstones.
their
in
magnum
the 80s.
opus, like they're everything. So I
Mhm.
gotta give them credit for that. But afterwards, I feel like I appreciate Black Sabbath and Iron
Black
Maiden.
Sabbath.
Yeah, more than Metallica because they turn into pop,
Really?
which not my cup of tea.
Do you think we'll see this in Hanoi? Have Monsters of Rock Hanoi and have all these the current biggest names in rock?
Well, yeah, I'm curious. How's the rock scene in Hanoi?
Oh,
Is it?
oh,
How's the rock scene?
I love this topic because you know Ngot, right? You know Ngot?
Wait,
Yeah,
nah.
they stop existing.
You
Right?
mean
Well, the Vietnamese
wannabes?
Beatles. Vietnamese
the
Beatles.
Beatle wannabes?
Yeah, because I think the rock
Yeah, they kind of copied the Beatles, right?
the rock scene in Hanoi was really amazing for 20 years. I mean, I feel like the
Uh-huh.
rock scene in Hanoi is more prosperous than even Saigon or the South.
Starting from when? Starting from when?
From the 2000. But here's the interesting thing because the rock scenes in Saigon was really great before 1975. Like
True.
we got psychedelic rock, we got surf rock, we got
we know what was.
you know we
Habits
got
ABC.
All those ladies, man. Fun
Phom
Thumb,
Thum, we got
Tang Tang, Kim Carroll.
Carol Kim.
Carol Kim. Oh my God, she's a
They were
goddess.
so amazing, but then everything changed, and then modern talking went into Vietnam, Bonnie M, after 1975, and then the rock scene kind of reset, and then we
Uh-huh.
got people in the 90s. Okay, so you asked about the rock scene in Hanoi, right? From the 90s, they start playing Pink Floyd music in architecture universities.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd and the Beatles, but they were banned back then. So for about 2 or 3
Oh,
years they were
yeah.
banned. But then Bức Tường, which is like it means the wall, which is a reference to Pink Floyd, the wall,
Yeah.
came into the scenes and it changed everything. Bức Tường became huge, and since the 2000, Bức Tường was huge until Ngot came along, which was from the indie music scenes in Hanoi from
Mhm.
2013, and they were all influenced by the Beatles. But what I don't like about Ngot and such indie bands because they were so influenced by the Beatles, it feels like they copy like everything about the
True.
Beatles. Like they have no
Yeah,
originality.
Yo, Tang is basically John Lennon.
Dude,
He's not even trying to,
Andy,
not even trying to hide it.
how you see
Is that the vocal? Is that Tang? Is that the
the
vocal guy?
the main
Yeah,
songwriter
yeah,
and
him.
vocalist? Yeah,
I
he
don't
even
like
wears
that
the
guy.
round.
Like I hear his voice.
Yeah,
His
I mean, it's
voice is
different from
too
what we
high
have
pitched, you know.
in Vietnam. Like he adds a different flavor to the Vietnamese music scene.
he did.
But yeah, yeah, all I saw was like a fucking John Lennon wannabe.
Dude, I'm. You know what? I'm not gonna talk shit about Tang anymore. But the more I listen to not music, the more I hear the Beatles. Like I try to point
You
this
know what
out.
I heard about Tang, the John Lennon wannabe? I heard that he was a complete dickhead, and his band members despised him.
I'm not sure what happened, but
I'm pretty
And
I,
then
sure
it's him. He
I met him
he
before.
started the avalanche.
I met him
oh
before in
really?
person, and I knew some personal stuff about him. And trust me, he's not John Lennon. He's trying so hard to be John Lennon, but he is not. So basically,
Wannabe.
his
All
asshole,
these
his
wannabes.
assholeness is okay. He's a nerd who pretends to be a
Uh-huh.
rock star, who pretends to be a bad boy, but he still basically a nerd who
Okay.
abused a lot of drugs.
Nothing bad about nerds, you know. But when you were like you're a poser like that. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
yeah,
What?
Don't be a poser, just be a nerd, right? I mean,
yeah.
just be
Just be a
real.
nerd. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just be real. Yeah. Just be who you are, man. There's no problem.
Exactly.
Well, the reason I don't want to get like I want to talk more about the Tang because there's gonna be a lot of friends of mine who
Fair,
are
fair.
yeah who
Fair.
are in the scenes who are like a rock into the rock music. So I don't want to get too much into that because
Fair, fair.
because but if you're listening, dude, you know what happened. Like anyone out there who is listening right now, you know what I'm talking about. So.
Uh-huh.
The news.
I mean-
Okay, Andy. The news came that Tang abandoned his child, just like John Lennon. So basically, John Lennon, because to the public general, he abandoned his child. He
Did he do that to be more like John Lennon?
sexually
Was it deliberate?
sexually assaults a lot of girls, like groupies, and but he did not hit his wife. So that's the difference between him and John.
What other people said that he had so many mistresses across the country while being married and with kids,
Mhm.
and when he was touring across Vietnam, he would just visit all these ladies
I'm not
across
surprised.
the
I'm not
country.
Dude,
surprised.
a friend of
And-
mine is one of his mistresses. Okay.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like I think you met her before, Andy, but I'm not gonna tell
Who's that?
the person.
Okay, you can tell me private after
Yeah,
the end.
yeah, yeah, I
We'll
will
have
tell
a
you
chat
later,
about
but-
this.
Have I met her?
So,
No, you haven't, Kim.
Okay.
But
a common acquaintance.
yeah, but basically, when Tang went to concert in Da Nang, they went
Uh-huh.
out in a hotel together, and that's like one person and like many mistresses that Tang has. So I'm not
It
surprised.
sounds
Well,
consuming.
he probably just wanted to talk,
Having-
you never know.
Having just one mistress to me sounds like already a big effort. Like, you know, if you're a married guy with kids, you have your wife, you need to, put time in that. And then if you have a mistress, you need to do the same with that person and make sure that two people don't know because that's how things work.
Uh-huh.
And it sounds like, when you have so many of these people across the country, how do you deal with that? How do you keep it together in secret? Because from what I heard, these people barely knew about each other. They're like, okay, the wife didn't know, and then the others across the country also
That's a good
kind of,
point.
but
Fact
then
that
it
he
totally
could hide
erupted, and it backfired.
That's impressive, actually.
And even
Yeah.
the other guys in the band who already had a dislike with him because he was a difficult guy to deal with. That's what some people said. And then they cracked down on him. It was like, man, this is the last. You're fucked up. We're not doing this anymore.
Well,
I mean, to be fair, if you never heard the Beatles, you would be able to appreciate their music.
yeah, I mean, they kind of put a new air into Vietnamese music, which I still think that Tang is really influential. Like,
Uh-huh.
he has talent.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm so I feel pissed like when I used to be a Beatles fan and play Beatles music to my
Uh-huh.
classmates, they were not interested in that. And then when
Uh-huh.
Not came to the scenes, they were like, "Oh, new Not music! They're so creative." Like, fucking hell, they took all this shit from the Beatles, and I'm like, guys, guys,
No, it's like this idea like oh Beatles is already all over the place. It's a name that would never
And
go
plus, it's
away.
a language barrier,
Then
you know.
what you'd be like, ooh, these guys are he's one of us.
Yeah, it's,
uh,
They're our people.
cultural appropriation.
yeah, cultural appropriation.
The British
Pretty much,
invasion,
pretty much.
Vietnamese invasion, or whatever you want
Yeah,
to call
it's
it.
not just the white people, guys. We Asians do it too.
Yeah,
But now jokes on them because like now God doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Live at least. So I never liked them. I didn't like. I like the sound of the instruments and the what's on the background, but the voice. That voice never sat right with me.
Mm.
To me, it feels like he's shrieking. He's too high pitched. He's just changed the pitch. Put it in
Yeah, and like the interesting thing about
an
Tom
octave lower.
is like the way he talks sounds exactly like when he sings. It's just his natural voice. His sound isn't any different from when he's talking.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. We're talking about sound. It's
Yeah.
like that's a sound that doesn't fit my preference.
I mean, it's all good. It's all good.
That's
musicality because are we talking about Tang still?
Yeah, his voice.
His voice,
Yeah.
Just like
his solo album just proves that everything that is so great about the band was all about the instruments and every other stuff, but the voice doesn't sit with me well. Me too. I don't like his voice either. It's like he he um he can sing pop songs well that makes you resonate to a certain level, but
Uh-huh.
some other songs that require a certain level of masculinity, like jazz songs, he cannot deliver.
Uh-huh.
So it's all
Yeah, it's his voice.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that low pitch.
yeah.
yeah, it's the guy is born like that.
Yeah.
What can you do? It's not within the person's.
Can't blame the guy.
But his songwriting is
But,
good. His songwriting is very impressive.
Yeah. I like now how we're actually going to the people of Hanoi. Like we're talking about a certain person in
Yeah.
Hanoi. Is he from
Because-
Hanoi?
What?
He is from Hanoi, right?
Yeah, he is. Like because Tang is
Oh,
the
okay.
most Hanoi name you can think of.
Oh,
Tang is
true,
like
true.
Tang is like
True.
Tang is like John Doe or something. Oh no, Tang is more like
You're from
Eric. Eric of America. If the United States you got
Or
Eric,
like John, no John or.
John,
or
or
then
the
that-
most common
like Bang.
Tang.
Oh, no, that's Tang Lao.
That's
Tang
Tang Lao.
Long.
That's different. That's Tang Lao.
Yeah, tongue. But tongue is still with the
Like
tongue.
Bang An, right? Bang An is like Bang An is like the Jane Doe.
No, Phương
of
Anh.
Hanoi.
Phương Anh was like the Jane
Oh,
Doe.
Phương An.
Oh, Ling. Ling is the Jane Doe. Ling is like the most common.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, true, yeah. Freaking Lin Pham, you know.
Ling
That's
Pham or something. Ling
Lin
Wei.
Pham, yeah.
Win.
Lin Wei, yeah.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Win-win. It's a win-win.
Win-win
Joke.
situation.
Win-win. What's gonna be the future of Hanoi? I was dating this charming girl until summer, and we were talking. She's from a different city, and then what's gonna happen? We were like complaining a lot driving around Hanoi, and we were complaining about the situation, and like what's gonna happen to Hanoi? The city keeps downgrading. And to which she said, "Oh, it's just gonna explode. It will just get worse and worse and worse, and one day the whole city will just blow up, just because of the whole problems that we keep intensifying."
I mean, that could happen literally. You
Like
know,
literally, literally.
if we somehow piss off China, I know it's going to be a first place to go. I mean, we're the capital. I mean, Hanoi's the capital. If we piss off China somehow, Hanoi's going to be the first place to go. That's like a
Yeah, man, but it's just so far in history, in modern history, people don't really win against Vietnam. So
Well, so
I mean,
far,
I mean,
so far.
in this day and age, like with all the remote missile systems and everything, I won't be surprised if like there are missile bases near the border that have like missiles just pointing towards Hanoi in the case we piss them off somehow. I think that's how politics work right now. We just have missiles pointed at each other, and it's ready to be launched at any given time.
And can you define like when nowadays? Because TikTok has won over us, and TikTok is China. So
Yeah,
basically,
TikTok is
we've
No,
been
I
won.
don't get that. I tell the students
We've been
who
won
are so
over.
addicted, some of them so addicted to TikTok, and I'm like, guys, do you know that this is a Chinese app who takes your personal information?
They don't care. That's the thing.
And they could, it's like, guys, this is China we're talking about.
Like,
I thought you
huh?
traditionally hate China because
Yeah.
of
I
unresolved
keep
issues.
telling them that. I keep telling a lot of people that it's a fucking Chinese company. It's a national security threat. We should, be more careful about it, but no one gives a shit. I mean, I told them that like Chinese private companies have annual meetings with the Chinese Communist Party. So whatever the government does, the Chinese private companies have to follow suit. And like no one seems to care. They just think, I
They
mean,
don't care.
yeah, if we just watch food reviews on TikTok, it'll be okay.
And it's not even like good content. It's like most of them is brain rot. Like,
It's trash.
it's what the
Fucking
fuck are
trash.
you watching? Okay, I may sound like a boomer too. Like some of you guys are watching now, but
Well,
like,
we're all boomers.
please,
But I'm boomer as hell, and
Please.
I'm slowly turning into the grumpy
Have-
old man. I hear
have some
kids
fucking-
screaming by my window. I want to throw something at them.
have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
fucking
I'm
content.
getting there,
Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, it's just trash. There's no
I
structure.
know.
It's not even postmodernism.
Yeah, but trash sells, it's like trash food.
I know.
That has artificial flavor and whatever.
Oh man.
People can't get enough
I
of
mean,
it.
I will put it pretty good. I mean, it's basically brain rot.
Yeah.
It's
It's like Skibbity Toilet, but variations of Skibbity Toilet. Like,
I mean, Skibbity Toilet is somewhat funny. I mean,
like Skibbity Toilet is not even that bad because it has something, right? It has a
It-
toilet.
It tells a story.
to
It
the
has
right
a story
crowd.
of a guy.
There's some sense
Yeah.
of creativity
Yeah.
to it.
To the right crowd, it's pretty poetic.
But if you ever see a Chinese like TikTok reel, it's like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yo, you guys know that dancing Chinese guy is like the
super
dancing
idol.
Chinese?
I know, super idol or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a hit on TikTok. Just from this.
My friends send it all the time, but I'd be like, whatever. Like, I don't care. What is so funny? What is so substantial about this? I don't fucking care.
Well, it's their thing, they're born with it. Maybe we don't see it in the right
Yeah.
way. There's another way to look at it.
And
I
the-
don't know it.
And the thing that worries me is recently I've been seeing a lot of kids, like Gen Alphas. They have
You gotta Google that.
they have a lot of like they show a lot of positive sentiment to China and Chinese culture in
Yeah,
general.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to appreciate culture, but to say maybe idolize like a nation. I've been seeing that more with a lot of the Gen Alphas. Like they say, oh my God, China is so great. Look at how they built their cities and everything. I'm just worried. I mean, like when you have, like people forget that China is our longest rival, ever since the founding of this nation. They're right next door. And yet now we have kids who are, growing to be more accustomed to, appreciating Chinese stuff. And it's scary for me. Like, if something, like, God forbid, if we don't have war with them in
There
the future,
are-
if we,
Uh-huh. There are certain aspects of China that I think we can appreciate, but I feel like there's a propaganda going on. Like, there's a
it's
lot
been
of
going on.
Chinese pages, like Chinese name pages, like Weibo, and a lot of pages named in China, like in Chinese,
Uh-huh.
and they translate a lot with Chinese stories into Vietnamese. Like Andy, you don't see it, but we do on a regular basis. Like
Every fucking day. Every fucking day.
Like a lot of Chinese
Yeah.
culture is here. It's
Yeah,
fucking
even on
not great.
national fucking news stations,
Yeah.
they report fucking lame ass stories from China. We don't give a shit, you know?
They didn't do it. Why does the? I thought there's a lot of bad blood. You know, I thought even the government is like,
I mean, like
there's
it's
nothing.
weird with us. It's a love and hate relationship. Unlike, it's very segregated in the sense that there would be, I would say, that our Department of Defense, they hold their shields up when it comes to Chinese aggression. But when we talk about the media and everything else, they post a lot of stuff from China. Like I would hear a story about how, let's say, like the title was a kind teenager helps an elderly man cross the road, right? And it would have a very nuanced title, but when you get into the actual content, it's a story from China. Nine times out of ten, it's a story from China.
It's like
Like they're
finding its way into
I don't
the
get that.
Vietnamese people, like normalizing
Yeah, the
the
psyche, like they're trying to get into the Vietnamese psyche that hey, that like Chinese people aren't bad. I'm not saying that Chinese people are bad, but we should be wary of whatever the
But
government is
why,
doing.
why are you concerned with what's happening in another country? I've never seen this. Okay, it's if it's world, if it's an event that is concerning the whole planet, then I get that. You know, but then why would you post daily whatever is cool things happening? And as you said, nobody, people don't care. They
well,
don't give a
people
damn.
do care. Like a certain amount of people care about these events going on.
Uh-huh.
Like for no reasons at all.
It's strange.
It's very strange.
It's strange.
It's like the United States cares about like what the France is doing, but it's not even the about the presidential debate or something. It's like the daily life of a French person, like on a regular basis. It's like we're being invaded on a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but then you choose how to respond to it. You know, like, do I care about these things?
I
I want
don't.
to read about this.
So I don't give a shit about it. But most of my friends, no, no, not most of, some of my Gen Alpha friends do, and it's
You have Gen
considered
Alpha friends?
yeah.
Gen
Well,
Alpha is
I'm
like,
Gen Z, bro.
this is 2000.
Yeah, yeah, we're Gen Z.
Uh
But
huh.
like Gen Alpha, that's like what, 2010 onwards, right?
Yes, I do have.
Yeah, that's
I do have
I just
Gen
Googled
Alpha
that.
friends.
Well, technically, I'm a millennial. I'm the last millennial before the.
I think I
Because
have
the
yet.
Gen Z. Yeah, the Gen Z starts in '97,
Yeah, 97.
and the millennials end in '96. Wait,
There's the millennials. I think it started back in the 80s, right?
yeah, late '90s.
Oh, late 90s.
Yeah, researchers and popular media use the mid to late '90s as starting birth, with the generation most frequently being defined as people born from '97 to 2012. So yeah, '97.
Oh,
I'm like right before that.
so Gen Alpha is 2013 onwards.
I think 20, uh,
Some
2009
people say 2010.
or
2010 say some people.
from 2010, yeah. So
2010,
they're 14 years old this year. Did you know that?
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and the millennials are from 1981 to 1996. So yeah, I'm lucky, man. I'm like right. I don't know. I feel there's a
So you are like a whole like different
borderline
generation.
millennial Gen Z. You know, I'm like just kind of like on the fence.
Damn, I wish we were old enough to appreciate the 80s. Because
Oh yeah.
all I've heard,
Not possible, man.
that like the amount of good things I've heard about the 80s,
Oh man, I
it just
fucking
sounds
love
so
the 80s.
majestic.
I know. To me, the '90s. I can say that the '90s outshine the '80s
Really?
because
I wouldn't know.
because
I would.
the '90s are like, from what I hear, the '90s are like a revival of the '60s and '70s.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah,
The
exactly, yeah.
technology of the time.
In what sense? In what sense? In what sense?
Yeah, and then there's like less, because things are more accepted. In the '80s, you started to have the parental advisory thing, and people became sensitive
Oh.
to some things, and they started having censorship in media and music, and And then in the 90s, the pendulum came back to the other side, and there was no more. People like Tarantino and Scorsese were like making
So
movies
so
that
it's like a second wave
didn't
of
have
the
that.
'60s. It's like
Oh
Nirvana.
Yeah, and then now since this whole woke thing, since a few years
my
back,
God.
then censorship came back, and you have all this other Tarantino put it. It makes the 80s look fucking great, you know.
Ah,
Can you imagine like going to the theater in the '80s and watching like Back to the Future, like other great American films? Like oh man, it
yeah.
was like the peak of Japanese and American culture.
Back to the Future was peak cinema.
Oh,
Peak cinema.
peak cinema. Yeah.
Still is. Still is. Still
Yeah.
is. Peak cinema.
Like I want to go back then. Like I want to go on
Yeah.
time to go
Imagine,
back.
imagine seeing Star Wars for the first time in
Oh my
77.
God, yeah.
First Star Wars. There were people that went multiple times to the cinema just to rewatch it because it was so mind blowing, and the whole movie at the time was delivering so much that you couldn't simply assimilate what it was, and you had to watch it over and over again to get the full picture. And that's what's so
True.
cool, that they kept coming back to the theater, the cinema.
Crazy time to be alive back then. Because like they were having so many changes, and I mean everything right now feels a bit, like we've done all we can back then. Now it's just,
Cycling.
we
Everything
need a
is
we need a hard reset. Yeah.
I actually wrote a
Did you
post
think
about
they
this.
put-
I wrote a post about like how in the 2020s you don't see any culture change anymore. You got
Exactly.
the 90s and then the 2000s and 2010s and then like it's like 3 decades. It's like one
Yeah,
decade.
it's like they're doing.
Yeah.
They keep revisiting well-established franchises because they know that people are gonna watch it anyway because it brings them back to that universe, like they do with Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
Nostalgia.
Guys,
Nostalgia sells
you
nowadays.
don't have imagination anymore.
Yeah.
Look in the and read some goddamn history. There's so much just history alone
Uh-huh.
has so many things across the world, so many cultures and civilizations and historic moments that can be put on screen. They're just waiting to get that attention because it hasn't been done yet, you know.
I think like with with audiences now, they don't care about that stuff anymore. They would rather watch
You can use
action
the
movies.
Hollywood filter to
Yeah.
give that juice to them.
Like I think the last action movie that was like for me that was actually enjoyable is the John Wick saga. It's like it's I mean it's like
But it's pretty
I'm
fun.
not sure if it's I'm not sure if you guys share the same sentiment, but like it's one of the few action movies that came after the 2010s that had a bit of substance to them. It had that 80s action flick vibe, but with an integrated universe that feels, authentic.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
you
I
mean.
mean,
Like,
it's
There's a
enjoyable.
good plot,
It's
you know.
enjoyable.
yeah,
Yeah, the main guy has been through a lot,
Yeah.
and starts from a dog. He's walking a dog, which is the only link between him and his dead. Okay, spoiler. Sorry, it's been a while. If you guys haven't watched it,
I watched the whole thing.
that's not.
I watched it. I watched
Yeah,
it.
if I know, but I mean the viewers.
Yeah, yeah.
It reminds-
If you guys haven't watched it, then yeah, spoiler alert. There's a dog that is the last thing he had from
His dead wife. Yeah.
and some people come to him, and then the dog is killed, and that triggers everything. It's
Yeah.
like, you killed that dog. That was all I had left.
No, he feels like the whole John Wick vibe. It feels like John Rambo. Feels like the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
Rambo
yeah.
saga,
It's
An
very
urban
much-
Rambo.
Yeah, but it's like it's more like the assassin ninja kind of guy, because Rambo was like the
Like a special forces soldier.
special
the
force
machine
unit.
gun guy.
Yeah, exactly, kind of
Yeah.
U.S. Navy machine.
He was a
gun.
Vietnam
This
vet.
guy
He was a
was
Vietnam
with
vet.
Swords, martial arts.
Yeah.
Takes you to a different. How he's wielding the guns, how he's reloading while running.
Yeah.
Well, I take the other pistol. It's not. It has that dynamic, and it keeps you going.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
But with John Rambo, it's a limited ammo.
Yeah, and we got John Wick, and that was it. And I think the my favorite is Shaun of the Dead.
Oh man, Shaun of
Yeah,
the Dead.
Oh, I didn't see
Shaun
that
of the
one.
Dead
Holy
franchise.
shit.
Have you seen it, Andy?
No, I did not.
Wow,
But
you should. It's
heard
like
a lot
it's
of
I
like
watched it
Tarantino.
like 4 times.
It's like Tarantino, but on meth.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hot Fuzz.
With the police
Yeah, yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so brilliant,
Sam,
very
Simon
brilliant.
Pegg, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. They just go together. They
They're
just go
Lennon
together.
McCartney, man.
They look
Lennon
like these
McCartney.
average British pub blokes.
They're like an unbeatable duo for British cinema.
But that came out like 2000, so like 20 years ago. So we were still,
2004
Yeah,
actually.
2004,
Oh,
so
20 years ago.
20
Exactly
years
20 years
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Barely 20 years ago.
Yo, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Yeah.
I would pay a lot of money to see them on screen together one more time.
Ap- Actually, after this podcast, I'm going to see the new Joker movie. I've
Oh
heard
damn,
some.
really?
Dude, the people.
I heard it's pretty bad.
They
Yeah.
didn't do well.
I already bought a
What I
ticket,
hear on
but
the internet.
I don't know what I'm gonna get, but let's see how it's gonna turn
I
out.
mean, even for the Joker remake, like the one that came out with Joaquin Phoenix,
Yeah,
I didn't I didn't like the story. I was only like fascinated by Joaquin Phoenix's acting, like the new spin he put on Joker.
yeah,
I liked how he made Joker more relatable. You know, like I'm not saying the original concept of Joker is bad, but Joaquin Phoenix just put like this new perspective on how Joker is as a person, not a villain, but as a person. Yeah,
Well,
and in a way, we look at yeah.
we're gonna keep in mind that the movie took a lot of inspiration. The original movie, I mean, a lot of inspiration from the movie Taxi Driver.
Oh,
Have you seen that
true.
one?
Now you mention it.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
Comes
yeah.
there, yeah,
yeah. And King of Comedy was
But then the
directed
outcome
by
is different.
Scorsese.
Then you have a pathway.
Yeah,
Do I become an anti-hero and like a misanthropic guy?
yeah.
Yeah, I could
Is
see
there
the
ways to
resemblance.
react?
Robert De Niro.
It's the
Yeah,
same.
okay.
It's the same movie, but it's a superhero. No, it's a super villain movie. So it's same
Uh-huh.
story, same aesthetic, but the Joker. That's it. That's all about the Joker.
Damn, I'm gonna rewatch Taxi Driver.
You should. It's a really
I know
good
you
movie.
mentioned it. I should rewatch it. I watched it that one time 10 years ago. I barely remember what happened.
10 years
But
ago.
yeah, I do remember the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
think- Yeah.
went from Hanoi to
To
talking about movies.
to movies. I think the next episode we should
Will
talk
Hanoi
about
recover? Will Hanoi become a decent city?
about time for the next podcast. Like the concept of time is pretty strange to me because 10 years
Concept of time.
sounds like a long time, but 10 years was
Uh-huh.
2014, and 2014 doesn't sound that long ago to me.
Hmm.
It's like time is speeding up.
2014.
The more we age,
Damn.
like the more we age, the more time is speeding up because each year it takes
Yeah,
the-
Vsauce.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're quoting Vsauce
Yeah,
now. What he
Vsauce.
was explaining.
yeah,
That every time unit becomes smaller compared to your overall accumulated time,
Yeah, yeah.
like your life.
exactly. Yeah.
So it feels like every decade passes. Like when you're 9 years old, when you're 8 years old, 1 year is quite a big chunk of your life, of your whole life until that point. When you're 20, it feels smaller, and when you're 25, it feels smaller. And the more you age, every year
Yeah.
goes quicker.
It,
I think it's
weird.
because of the constant repetition that we have. Like every day feels the same, so like because it's so repetitive,
it's Groundhog
everything
Day.
becomes
Every day.
depends
a
on
blur.
Yeah.
It's Groundhog
what
Day.
you're doing, like when you're in your 20s, I don't know, your life feels more, you feel that your life is filled with more significant events.
New,
Yeah.
You start
new
to know
experience
yourself
every day.
better
Yeah.
and get a grasp, like compared to high school, and then at some point those things slow down, like after middle aged, You still do stuff, but not on the same frequency. So then again, you feel that time slows down again or something. I don't know. It's a paradox.
Um,
It's a paradox.
I'm in my 20s and I still feel like I experience new stuff every day. Like I got a lot to learn about other people and life in general, but I still feel like time speeding up. Like I it's not like I'm stuck in a Groundhog Day. I get new experience every day, but looking back, I've been in Dallas for
Hey.
3 months now, and it felt like yesterday when I was still in Hanoi. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like
but
the
you know,
more you age, the
you're
more you feel like this rapid, you know, time speeding up.
Yeah,
doing
it's
things there.
blurry.
I think it's an hour and 26 minutes now.
I lost
Yeah.
count. I didn't. I don't know. We started like 7:15, 7:20.
Yeah, I
something
think
like that.
this is towards the end of the podcast. So thank you guys so much for listening to us yap these last
Yeah, anytime, man.
90 minutes.
I dig this.
I'm talking to the audience also, and this is our first episode. So tune in every week or two. You may find me and Andy or Kim like yapping about we're being old men yelling at
Whatever
clouds.
subject matter.
Yeah.
Whatever we feel like. Amen. Kim, are you smoking now inside your room, or guys here in some indoor spot?
Oh, it's my room. I'm out. I'm actually my workstation is outside my balcony.
Yeah, but
So
I wish I could do the same because now I have a fire alarm. It became like a safety hazard in
oh
Hanoi.
damn,
Another thing
yeah.
about Hanoi, because a lot of households are like on these narrow alleys that have so many turns, and it's impossible for cars to come on these alleys. And
Oh
if
yeah.
there's a safety hazard, like a fire, or God forbid some building crumbles down for some reason, there no it's very ambiguous to get there, as a rescuing unit, for imagine a fire truck coming down those alleys to put up a fire.
It's
You have
impossible.
to go somehow above the houses, above the neighboring houses, and then because that's how they do it. Is the only way to do it, to get the hose with the water and take out the fire. And a
Yeah.
lot of people, it was unfortunate. Many people died because fires were there, and there was no one that could help them the right way. The fire
Yeah.
trucks were.
I remember the fires that the
Now you
condo
have the.
that Hanoi had for a while. Like, it was one after another. It was crazy.
You see it? Yeah, that thing over there. You see the. Because I used to smoke like a complete junkie in my room, and with the doors and windows closed. And that was a good time. But now I can't do that anymore. The thing will go beeping like right away. So just go outside. It's different when you loaf on your couch, smoke your
Mm.
bags.
Yeah, it hits
It's
different.
forbidden pleasure right now. And I don't have a balcony. It's what it is. One of the big.
Personally, I don't like smoking indoors. Like I prefer like my room, my whole room will smell of smoke of cigarettes. So I don't like
Yeah,
smoking.
when you don't have a balcony, you're
What?
a bit trapped.
I don't. I have a balcony, so I can smoke outside.
You're good. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, but
Not
I don't like
everyone has
smoking
this.
indoors. What I mean, like in a closed door.
Fair. Me
That's
too.
so
Me
retro.
too.
I imagine the 70s, like as people didn't give a damn in America in the 70s. People were just smoking everywhere. They couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why my
exactly.
workstation.
You know that,
Yeah,
Yeah, think about those 70s furniture items, those patterns. What makes the 70s the 70s? And imagine a room like that, you just sit there with your friends and everyone's smoking, the room is smoking,
Yeah.
you take some wine or whatever.
I love.
It was
I
so
love
normal
it.
to see.
Love it. Yeah, I love it.
It's such a group.
It's such an aesthetic, like the '70s furniture, like how you seen like a
Yeah.
magazine from the '70s. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, just look at the pictures from like Woodstock in the 70s. The Woodstock festivals.
69, but yeah, the
Woodstock is
70s are like
69.
60s.
Before it's the '60s.
Yeah, but like
The-
yeah. Everyone had a cigarette,
Well, it's not good for your health, but it looks cool.
It's the aesthetic, yeah.
I mean, you don't have to smoke a pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
I
would argue,
mean,
well,
I
I
have
would
turned
argue
down.
that cigarettes are not even the worst thing in the world, like compared to sugar and like unhealthy foods.
Yeah,
But everything is so chemical, like it's filled with chemicals now that cigarettes are nothing.
yeah. I mean, I'm not an alcoholic. You know, I don't like drinking personally. I mean, if I went out drinking, it would be with company, with a group of people. It's the general atmosphere.
Yeah, here's what Andy just sent me, like this the pictures of the furniture of the 70s.
It's a meme. This picture smells like cigarette.
Back when wood was cheap.
Back when you could get a house, you could
Yeah, back when
work.
I could get a house.
You could work with you had a family and you were the only man working, so your wife was a homemaker.
Yeah.
You as a guy, you could work on one salary and afford the house and then
Yeah, I just saw the picture.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. You can
Yeah.
smell the cigarettes, man. Like you can smell it,
And the good kind too.
and a good kind. Yeah, I bet cigarettes smell good back then.
Yeah. Before they thought it was a good idea to lace it with chemicals. Uh, that was fun. That was fun.
That was fun, guys.
I barely looked at the time.
I'm already looking forward to our next episode. Maybe next week or a week from now, or 2 weeks from now, whenever you guys are.
Yeah, all good, all good.
Holy shit!
No way. We should meet up. We should meet up.
I will visit you guys if you are in Saigon, man. Like the three of us, like fucking talking about shit, smoking weed together.
We do like a live episode.
Yeah. I love Saigon too. Like it's an amazing city. Like I'm half from Saigon. Yeah, so I can resonate.
Amen. Amen.
Shit.
That's a good way to put it. Uh, mm.
Well, it's almost like Saigon is LSD, and Hanoi is the Tuk Lao. It can be a good analogy. Like one is bluffing, and maybe Saigon is the MDMA, like Molly. One makes
Like
you suffer.
Saigon's the Western stuff, right? And Hanoi's like the traditional Vietnamese stuff.
Yeah, very very traditional. Yeah. So Tuk Lao
Yeah.
would be the great energy analogy for Hanoi.
I don't know. Saigon, like southern Vietnam in general, it feels like California. Feels like California. Feels like SoCal. Yeah, not the California now. God forbid. No. Yeah. California now is a shit show. Everyone's moving out of California. Yeah, exactly. All the Democrat states. Same story. Uh,
Yeah, I think.
yeah, let's call it.
Yeah, call it a
We
day.
can call it
Yeah,
a night.
and maybe. Well, next week is my birthday, so
No way.
yeah, let's do an episode then. Yeah, thank you.
When is it?
15th of October. So 10 days from now.
Oh, wow, 10 days from now.
You're not hanging out with the not collective.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hang out with them and have some Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, because I fucking love
Let's
KFC.
go.
Yay!
Let's go. Can't go wrong.
So it's been great, like connecting you guys together because I knew you guys would have some same views on politics, and
We haven't really got into politics that much.
yeah,
We're
but
really just scraping the
socially
surface.
we're honest.
Every 1 month from now, there's a big day. We know what day that is.
Yeah,
And no matter what happens, it's gonna be some funny stuff. Because
Yeah.
that's the reality. So get your popcorn, get your soda. We're gonna witness some. I don't know what, but it's gonna be something worth seeing.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on our podcast 101, first podcast ever. Yeah,
Mm.
and thank you
It's
all
been
for
fun.
watching. Yeah, bye bye.
All right. Um, uh, okay. So should I stop the recording?
Yeah, I think we should stop recording. Bye bye, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.
Mm.
Stay safe.
Right.